Okay, and welcome back. This is Sage Forsaken. I'm now going to be opening up a figure that I picked up at the Big Lots. It's only $2.50 on clearance. Of course, it is a Power Rangers figure. However, I'm going to be looking at the size comparison to like an actual G.I. Joe and see, because I like to customize on that scale, if this would be something the Power Rangers figures would be useful. A lot of them, as you'll see on the back card, have that long cloak, which since I'm right now working on Destiny customs, that long cloak would be actually pretty useful for like a warlock or something like that. So right now, of course, also I'll be looking at the articulation of the figure because that's very key to me. Growing up, I always didn't like those wrestling figures or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that did not have a high degree of articulation, which is because I was spoiled by G.I. Joe as a kid, I guess you'd say. So let's see here. Of course, you get your power sword. Let's see. Okay, let's see if they'll stand on a G.I. Joe base. Does not look like the pegs are exactly right. So I'm sure they have their own bases. Let me go ahead and try to do both feet. So first of all, this figure is, of course, partially, if you look at it, really the height is not completely outrageous to be next to a real G.I. Joe. She's a little bit taller, but, with Destiny, you don't have to. Since I'm making a Destiny custom, this might actually not be too bad. As far as articulation goes, there is no bend at the waist. Now, I've seen videos where people have added that, so I might do that if I do make this into a custom. But it is kind of interesting. You do get your knee bend, and what's weird is that I've never seen them hinged quite like this, where you can do the dog stance, with your action figure. But I guess if you want to do the dog stance, she might be the one you want to do that. I don't know. The head does turn completely around, for making a warlock. She has the high collar, which is kind of cool. I'll probably just sculpt that in the back. And I might actually take this head off and just do a custom head to make a warlock here. Only thing is, her arms are very slender, so like the warlocks, typically the coat goes all the way down. You'd be looking at a lot of sculpting, and you'd want to protect the posability of the figure. Now this hand is bending at the hand, so you can make your holder sword, I assume, different any which way you want. Once you get the sword in there, which I'm going to do right now. Now this is an exciting video right here. Okay, so here we go. Okay, slide in there. Okay. So now, I could pose her sword and pretty much, I could pose it blocking a cut, I could pose it slashing, anything, because it does have that twist, which is a higher degree of articulation than a lot of older Power Rangers definitely would have. I do not know why they didn't add a hinge at the waist. With that belt there, it'd be very easy to sneak one in. Of course, the legs do go up and turn. Knees do bend. And here's the other thing. It swivels at the boot. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't have ankle rockers, but swiveling at the boot also allows for some wider stances. Or like some really karate kicks, which I guess that's probably why they hinge it the way they do. So you can like really get a pose where, of course, if they don't turn towards it, I don't see how it's as good, but you can really, karate kick right in the face. So anyway, this is a review of the Power Rangers. And this is, of course, like I said, I didn't say, Super Samurai line, and of course, pretty much what you'd expect from Power Rangers. They're all colorful and coolness. But for $250, you know, at Big Lots clearance, this was a really good deal. I don't know that I would want to buy a whole bunch of these figures, especially if I have to add articulation at the waist, which, like, you know, he's articulated, so I can turn him to shoot that way, or he can look back this way. He can look up. I didn't look at that. So she doesn't have much rocker in the head. It's not hitting anything. I think it's just this piece right here that's keeping it from being able to rock all the way back. And that's something I could probably cut off if I were using this head as a base for my custom. But anyway, overall, I'd say that's a pretty neat find.